Alright. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic less known classic. This episode number 2618 and double number 2512. Two DC trades featuring legacy characters as the stars of two particular series. Yep. One of whom is not the other's book right now, but basically my friend Tivia, he loves this character, he loves his family. And he kind of wishes basically DC when I ended this run when they did, and now we have Cy Spurrier in the book. We have the penultimate trade of Jeremy Adams' run for the Flash. We have Flash Volume 19, The 1 Minute War. Now, I gotta point this out though about this again. I mentioned this before on a stream. Like, look at this number, Volume 19. Have you ever seen a trade series from DC Comics that lasts more than about 5 or 6 trades before they have to hit the restart button because they got a new writer in the main book? Yes. Take, for example, Nightwing. Nightwing's books has been restarted to volume 1 at least twice. Actually, just once I can think of, because basically we had Sam Humphries was volume 6, and actually it's happened twice now. Batman has happened twice. Detective Comics has happened at least 1, 2, let's see. We had 1 for Tomasi. It's been relaunched 3 times for Detective. Yep. 3 times for Detective, at least twice for Nightwing. Batgirl had to hit restarted freaking twice. Yes, seriously. Harley Quinn's previous volume, numbering for that one, got relaunched like at least once I can recall. Wonder Woman I think Wonder Woman, this one did keep up for a while. Actually did relaunch once, as far as I can remember, but they got Comics 3 times. But you ever had anyone last more than like 10 trades? Marvel, like just recently, have had 2 particular trade series had more than 10 volumes. That being Amazing Spider-Man by Nick Spencer and Avengers by Jason Aaron. Yes. You gotta give praise for Flash for basically having 19 volumes, and 20 has come out really soon. Now this book contains issues 790 to 796 and the 1 Minute Flash War Special. Jeremy Adams does pretty much write everything for this book. The main issues of the 1 Minute Flash, for which basically is a 7-part story, is drawn by Roger Cruz, Fernando Peralsorn, and George Kem Badams, I think I pronounced it. Excuse me. All this artwork one of the stories in the 1 Minute Special. There are 2 artists for this special. Actually, there are 3 other artists. Fernando Person also does some pencils for that one too. But there's 2 other artists. Actually, that one has 4 artists, because even one of the stories the guy probably got share. There are 3 stories. Now, 3 of these artists do share co-duties of pencil and inking. The first penciler for the book is Serge Acuna, who also does inking. Second one is Lisario Esrin. Yep. They don't give a credit for the cover art here. No, not really. They don't give who does the cover art. Yeah, they do not give a credit for that one. Yeah, so mostly put, here's what happens over the course of the 1 Minute War. We have this alien species known as the Friction that decided to invade Central City. Yep, they have invaded the city, and the entire Flash family is here. Not just Barry, we have Wally, we have Irie, we have Jay, we have Bart. Iris is in the story too, along with Jay Garrick, Jesse Quick, who Irie gets along really well in the book because both their fathers are basically speedsters. Max Mercury's here as well. Like any known DC speedsters in this story. One thing you gotta love about Jeremy Adams' run is it utilizes the DC speedsters really well. Though I should point out also in the special for the 1 Minute War and in issue 796, we do see the return of Godstorm. Yes, seriously. He returns, does some killing, and not much is there for him, anyways. It's like Jimmy Adams just brought this guy in because why not? I think maybe because he was just featured in the Flash TV show a couple years ago, so why not? So we have the friction. They come to Central City, firing this big, pointy rocket at the city. And we have Linda. Yeah, she's here. And she is pregnant with her and Wally's third child. Oh, yeah, by the way, there's a reference to Mr. Terrific in here. They actually, at one point in the story, have to deal with... Well, we'll get to that. So, we have a bunch of people basically here for this big humongous barbecue. We have... oh, by the way, Wallace West is here, who... is called Ace as a nickname because we have Wally, whose real name is Wallace. So you have Wally and Ace here. Everybody's going to find them. We see Max Mercury is Wednesday. So of course, then we see, get this, we have Jesse Quick with a freaking lamppost take on Lion Mane. Lion Mane being an old Hawkman villain. Fights him, and then of course, then we see these guys look like about the Robert Van, and Kid Flash is there. And Bart's there too. It's like, it's like, Kid Flash is like, this is my bust. Kid Flash, hey, I didn't know you were here. Yep. And you have Jay Garrick drinking, and all of a sudden this thing is falling from the sky. And then pretty much basically Iris questions basically the relationship with Barry. And then of course basically like stuff moves. And then this big thing comes in the ground, smashing the city. And of course, the first thing Wally does to protect his kids, which smart idea for him because he's a parent. And you have Jesse basically protecting the other people there, and deploy the wall, and basically a portion of Central City is basically in ruin, thanks to this freaking spear. And again, the culling, and of course, you have Bear looking for Iris. He's like, no! And by the way, Iris is kind of dead throughout a lot of this story, but don't worry, she comes back. So everybody's either like knocked out. And Jay is not moving. Yeah, Jay is not moving for some reason. So they basically had the friction invade the city. You have Ace and Bart teaming up with Jay. You have Wally basically looking around the place and finds Barry, who's mourning over Iris. Yeah, so... And of course they deal with like this big... And of course Jesse Quick is here too. And Friction basically still planning their move. Then we have the Flash time we reunite. Yep, we have this wonderful scene of Linda seeing Ace, Bart, Jesse Quick, and the original Flash, Jay Garrick. And it's interesting, though, the fact that that Irie looks up to Jay like a grandfather. She calls him Poppy. Poppy Jay. Calls him Poppy. Which, yeah. And later on in the story, basically, despite the fact that Wally and Jay are not related, basically his kids look up to him like a grandfather, which he appreciates that. Yes. Despite the fact it's later revealed he actually has a daughter. A teenage daughter that he completely forgot he had. And then you have Bart reunited with Max. And of course, then we have Miss Murder get released, who for some reason is just dressed like the Batman who laughs. Yes, that's the artwork for you. Then we have basically the speedsters. They would lead to the 1 minute special. We have basically the 1 minute special, just the backstory of the friction. That's most of what it is. What the whole story is like the first 2 stories. And we also see Avery, the Chinese Flash. She's here too. She does not play a role in the story, which is weird. She does have a spin-off series after this. Don't worry about that. Yep. And of course, the fiction right here, and then eventually Godspeed shows up, and he kills members of the fiction. Look at this artwork, how it draws Godspeed. Like, wow, he is so scary. And then we see the future. We see like a version of Wally West. Actually, it's like Jay, I think it is, where he's wearing like a Black Flash costume. We see look like Irie, who's for one of his Impulse. And then we see Jay's girlfriend, Gold Beetle, show up. Yeah, this special actually reveals her real name. Basically, her first name being Lily. Yep, and they're dating. Yep. And by the way, I have no issue with this. There's nothing wrong with skin color for this. It's bullcrap. The fact that that some people have a problem. Some people do not like seeing someone who's two different skin colors dating or being in a relationship. Here's a clue: it's not 1960s anymore. There is nothing wrong with it. People who have a problem with it can basically just shut their mouths and get over it. Here's two really good examples of a mixed relationship in fiction, and it works really well. Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Wally, and Linda West. These two examples work really, really well. Linda is Asian. Wally is white. Luke Cage is black. Jessica Jones is white. Who cares about skin color? Or here's one for you. You're going to love this one. Here's another good example. Miles' parents. Miles' mom is Hispanic, and his dad is black. So, where's the issue? Or here's another one. Miguel O'Hara, who's Hispanic, obviously, though he's half Hispanic, half white, because his father basically is Tiberius Stone. So, those of you don't like seeing mixed relationships, just shut your mouths about it, because I think it's bullcrap, and some people need to stop living in the 1960s when it comes to stuff like this, because this is bullcrap. Just move on. I personally have no problem with mixed relationships in fiction. There's no issue with this at all. None. So, moving on from that. So, I know it's a rant I like to use a lot of the time. My friend Tivia, he has no problem with mixed relationship. People I've talked to have no problem with mixed relationships. None at all. Like, you know another good example of this that people did want to see in Star Wars? Like, people wanted to see, like, it would have been interesting. Like, of course, we actually have Finn, I think, for Rey. And then we also have Rose, I think, for Finn. Rose is Asian. Rey is white. And I'm like, what's wrong with him basically being interested in someone who's white or an Asian woman interested in him? Me? No issue. That is not an issue here. Not at all. Moving on from that. So, yeah. And of course, then we have... I know I keep ranting about it, but I really wish some people basically just get off their high horse thinking that mixed relationships don't work, even though they really do. And yet, here's the thing about these relationships. Who started Luke Cage, Jessica Jones? Brian Michael Bendis. Wally and Linda, I believe that was Mark Waid who did that one. You think, okay. Alright. Who did Miles' parents? Obviously Bendis. Peter David obviously kind of came up with the whole thing of Miguel O'Hara being biracial. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, here's another one for you. Sun Girl. Yeah, her father's white, her mother's black. Do you know who did that? Chris Yost. So, I don't see an issue with it at all. Nope. So, yeah. And, of course, they meet, and, of course, they had set up base operations in Miss Trevick's lab. So, basically, they set up, like, a car. And, of course, they find this guy who's like a guard, and mention the whole thing with Miss Murder. And, of course, they get him to escape. Then we have this carrier ship, and what's inside? This might surprise you. Superman? Well, looks like to be Gorilla Grodd and Captain Atom. You're like, what? Why is Superman in Flash? Of course, he has MRB here, and of course, he looks a bit younger than he normally is. I mean, I can tell it's definitely Clark Kent, but he looks a bit young. Because there's a bunch of time travel stuff in the story, because of course it is. And plus, here's the scene we're talking about. We have Irie and Jesse having a conversation. Now, Irie's best friend is Buddy's daughter, Maxine. Because, well, one of the primary reasons why is both their dads are superheroes. And, well, she's also good friends with Stephanie Brown and Cassandra Cain. And I appreciate Jeremy Adams basically trying to start a friendship here between Irie and Jesse Quick. I'm like, this is brilliant. I mean, both their dads are both speedsters. Well, not just superheroes, but speedsters. And plus, they get along really well. Yep. Yeah, I love this whole story. You have the multiple Flashes working together. And Irie has to stay behind the guard buddy. And Barry reveals that when he was at that dinner with Iris, he was actually going to propose to her. Oh, and don't worry, we'll get back to that. So, yeah, and of course, you have the big battle with the Friction, which gets wrapped up by 596, and of course, Everett gets out of the course. Then eventually we see Iron Man in the story. Yes, Iron Man was randomly inside that thing. Yes, Iron Man is apparently frozen. I mean, first it was Grodd, Cap, Netta, and of course Jay is frozen, but Iron Man? Seriously? And you're thinking, which one is this one? I think this might be Rex Tyler's son. So, and of course, that still about with the Friction is a lot of really awesome stuff here. Irie borrowing her brother. And it looks like that Linda and Jesse are surrendering, but don't worry, their driver is somebody they know. Yep, so they break out. And of course, Jay is being tortured, but look enough, he's being freed. And of course, you have Barry come with a solution to the problem. And Jay looks like he's about to be tortured even more. And then he's like, oh yeah, I'm a badass. Because he got a freaking gun. Yeah. This story, and then for some reason, Jesse Quick decides to ditch her Jesse Quick costume and becomes Liberty Bell. Yes. Puts on her mom's costume. Yes. Basically, her mom was the original Liberty Bell. And Irie changes her costume to this. You off-panel Irie changed her costume. And Linda's put on her costume too, because she got costume last arc. So. And part 6 is Give Me Liberty. So, yeah, they prepared the final battle with the Friction. And they fight. They break out. Jay first did like Randall. And then we have, we apparently see like this caveman. We see, look, walking the planet Flash. What we see looks like Blue Jay, Commander Steel. Looks like Jericho Thunder. I think it is. What is the Protector? Yes, the Protector. Yeah, he's there in the background. Yeah, apparently, and look like Kid Devil. Like, what? Yep. That's there for the finale-ish. So, Wally is prepared. Well, yeah. And of course, basically, everybody jumps in to fight the Friction. They beat them, and of course, they kind of rewind time to before the events of all this, where I can't believe right now, flag. Yes. Wait, what? Yes. Alright, so I want to grow old with you, have kids with you. And yeah, it looked like he proposed to her, and like everybody's happy. Like everybody's like cheering the fact that basically he just proposed to her. Like, everyone's, like, clapping because, yeah, that's the momentous occasion these two get engaged. And, of course, the gold bug goes off with her friends. And then, of course, everybody's all celebrating. And the epilogue is Max at the beach. Max in the desert. And, of course, they run off. And that's book in a nutshell. This book is so epic. 10 out of 10. Absolutely amazing story. And sadly put, we only have one trade left to come out. Just one more and that's it. Excuse me. Next up we have is Green Lantern Kyle Rayner Volume 2. And this is also last one because apparently there was going to be Volume 3. I looked up, basically there was actually a list for it. And then the book got canceled. You're like, what? Yeah, there was a Volume 3 for this one got canceled. The reason? I heard because of low pre-order sales. Yeah, I'm like, that makes no freaking sense. Why would DC want to cancel something? Basically, or collecting characters from a book that people actually love Kyle Rayner. You would think, nope, don't bother to do it. So we have the writing here mostly by Ron Martz, Barry Smith, Marv Wolfman, Michael J. Freeman, and Tom Jenner. Now, this book does collect some books. We also have Darryl Banks, Mitch Bird, William Rossett, Jason Armstrong, Mike Collins, Rob Lim, Cully Hammer, Bill Mormon, Andy Smith, Mark Bright, Fred Haynes, and Joe St. Pierre. The cover art is now by Daryl Banks. Romeo Tassus is actually the inker, and Wes Hartman. This book collects from Green Lantern, Volume 3, issues 58 to 65, Guy Gardner Warrior, 27-28, New Teen Titans, number 124, 125, and Dark Stars 134. Now, Dark Stars, that's Michael J. Framin's book. Yep. New Teen Titans, that's Marv Wolfman. He's actually, how do you pronounce the guy's name? It's Bruce Smith, that's Guy Gardner Warrior, and Ron Marsh does Green Lantern. The first couple issues, they go to Chaos Alley, where there was some, you have Kyle, there's some aliens, and this is where Kyle reveals Donna for the first time that he's actually Kyle Rayner. Now, from what I've heard about this was a relationship that DC editorial forced on the book. Yes, they forced this relationship. Despite the fact readers didn't want this at all. I mean, this came not long after his girlfriend was killed. And he starts a relationship with Donna Troy. Why is Donna here? Because New Titans, that's why. So, they did with Felix Faust in this book. And by the way, Kyle has no idea who the heck Felix Faust ever is. And it says, next, North Polaris Magnetic Xmas. Look for Faust next period Outside. That's Outsiders Volume 2 with his son. Issue 59, it's basically Kyle versus Dr. Polaris. And we get an appearance by Bart Allen, who's basically upset that he's late for training. And then, for some strange reason, Roy Harper, who is Arsenal, yes, that's his Arsenal attire. That's actually his very first attire, fires a crossbow arrow at them because they're late for practice. Yes, because this was the period of time when Titans became sort of a government team. If I get a chance to meet Marvel, I would love to find out what it is. And so the other people here are Damage, Terra, and Impulse. Damage is the son of Alprit the Atom. Terra is Terra 2. Impulse, of course, is Bart. His real name is Grant. But yeah, of course, we continue the stuff with them. Basically, it's a Christmas issue with Dr. Blair just happily evolved. And then we begin a 3-part story that starts in Guy Gardner Warrior 27 and 28. And this is basically Guy finding out about Major Force. And the fact that he killed a woman in his apartment and put his refrigerator in his apartment. And steals here too. The part 3 of this thing, this is not like a crossover with Green Lantern. It's just that part 3 is the finale in Green Lantern. Now, is 28 the final issue of this series? No. No, it is not. If you're really curious, about this, so basically, when this became God Gardner Warrior, this had just, like, this is 27, 28. This is basically like we have Steel in the story too. And of course, basically, the only reason why that they put this whole story in here, of course, Superman's here as well. And Major Force is here. So, the only reason why Kyle is here in the story, because basically Major Force. Because he killed basically his first girlfriend. Yeah, and then of course the story is concluded in Green Lantern 60 with the apparent death of Major Force. Yep. And the Criterium, which were villains in this book, they kind of go away briefly. Yeah, they don't, like, after this story, they don't appear ever again in this book. They basically just move over to Guy Gardner for a bit. Yeah, they're basically creations of new replacement writer who replaced Joe Jones. And then 61 is basically Kyle versus Calabac, and of course take on Darkseid. And then Hal Jordan pops up in the book. Excuse me, yes, Hal Jordan's here, who's Parallax. Yeah, this is of a story where in 63 they have their fight called Parallax View. It's a two-part story. Takes up 63 and 64. Yep. Yeah, and then of course he thinks he's still being a hero, but he really isn't. And then pretty much basically right after that, let's see. Then begin the 5-part story known as the Siege of Zy-Current, which is actually, this is the trade that collects this whole 5-part story. It starts New Titans number 124. Part 2 is in Green Lantern 65. Part 3 is in Dark Stars 34. Damage, those of you asking who writes Damage, point time is Tom Joyner. New Teen Titans is basically Marv Wolfman, who writes the book still, with Michael Jen Fredman as the co-writer. Dark Stars is Michael Jen Fredman's book, obviously. I think he wrote pretty much the whole series. Now, those of you asking, now, here's the strange thing about this crossover. Like, New Titans, that managed to last for another 5 issues before the book got canceled. So yeah, not much longer. I believe Dark Stars didn't end with this story. I think it ended just a couple issues after this, if I'm not mistaken. It managed to last for another 4 issues before the book got canceled. Damage. Damage was another short-lived title. Damage managed to last for another 4 issues. So basically, it ended around the same period of time Dark Stars did. But basically, it's like anything associated with this very storyline, like Titans and Damage ended just a few months after this. Dark Stars ended around the same period of time. So it's like Green Lantern's little book managed to survive. Everything else basically got canceled. So the whole thing with the Siege is that basically New Titans, which at this point is comprised of Arsenal, Damage, Dark Star, Green Lantern, Impulse, Minion, Mirage, Rose Wilson, Supergirl, and Terra, take on the Progenitors. That's the main villains of the story. And of course, Sarge Steel is here. Yep. Sarge Steel, I think, was supposed to be Roy Harper's boss in the series. Yes, he basically started building books in issue 100. He actually, 104 is actually his last time he appears in this book. Mm-hmm. Now you might be asking, does he appear in the rest of the story? Because he's... Well, okay, the answer to that question, and I'm looking at right now, he does not appear in the rest of the story. He only appears just in the opening part. He does not appear again after this. He basically is dropped from the book. Yeah, it's basically the New Titans versus the Progenium. And the only reason why that the Air Titans were involved in this story, because Donna, who's part of the Dark Stars, that's the reason why Dark Stars is here. Surprisingly, Supergirl, we do find out about basically... Now, this Supergirl, I should point out, though, is not Kara Zor-El. Nope, this is Matrix. Yeah, this is the Matrix, who's basically a shapeshifter. Yeah. And John Byrne created this character. And she also established the identity of Linda Danvers, of I think it was Kara Danvers. Linda Danvers, excuse me. Yeah, that was something that basically Peter David did, and this story kind of revealed that. But the story itself is not bad per se, just a fun alien invasion story that sadly didn't do too well financially for DC. So, like, Green Lantern is like the only one managed to survive after this. Everything else just got axed. Yeah. Of course, the finale is New Teen Titans, obviously. And, by the way, here's a little fun fact. Did you know that these 2 issues, now, basically... Issues 126 to basically 130 begins a storyline known as Meltdown. I'll probably discuss this whenever I get to New Teen Titans, but yeah. It's basically at that point just the end of the series. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the start end of that series, but that's kind of how it is. But the Green Lantern stuff was really good. I thought it was quite interesting that Hal comes back this book. Just as my only guess is the reason Ron Martz brought him in because he's not the star anymore. He's a villain now, so he just here just passed the torch over the Kyle. At one point, he takes back Hal's ring and Kyle gets it back because it's not Hal's ring anymore; it's Kyle's. But yeah, this book is really good. Give this book a 9 out of 10. We're not done yet with Kyle Rayner's run yet for the book. Nope, not really. But yeah, that's particularly it. Particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, and do not hit the dislike button. So next up, it's gonna be Case Closed. Okay, next video.